is gladly accepted from countries that treat women, gays and lesbians, Christians and Jews horribly. Let's start with Saudi Arabia there. Anyway, here with reaction, the author of the best-selling book Treason, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, your reaction to James Comey today and what he has ignored up to this point. And we don't hear a word about pay-to-play or the Clinton Foundation or any of these things. So is the voters supposed to go into the ballot box blind?
Look, corruption, once it gets settled in, is like a cancer. It just keeps growing and spreading. So you have the Attorney General meeting, as you pointed out, with the former president in a very private meeting on an airplane in a very suspicious way. The very week that they're going to interview his wife. The interview itself is very weird, done in a way that very few FBI interviews are done. Then you have Comey coming out and saying, well, there's really nothing here. A firestorm blows up. FBI agents all over the place are enraged. It's quite clear that the political part of the Justice Department is sitting on the investigative arm of the FBI. Comey then, for whatever reason, decided that the discovery of 650,000 emails required him to reopen the case, which he had closed, by the way. And this doesn't count secondary cases that are out there that are ongoing already. But what's strange, I mean, I don't know what's going on in Comey's head, to be honest. It's weird. Nobody believes that the federal government is capable of taking 650,000 emails and reviewing them in 8 days. I mean, look how long it's taken them to review stuff over the last year and a half or 2 years. Yet suddenly, just to fit the Sunday before the election, they rush to judgment again. By the way, on a day when the New York Post is reporting that Hillary Clinton was using her maid to print out classified documents, which in itself is a violation. On a day when we're learning that Chelsea Clinton and her husband were apparently inappropriately using the Clinton Foundation resources, and that's Doug Band who's writing that. That's Clinton's guy who's writing that. I mean, this isn't stuff outsiders are making up. So you have all of these additional pieces of corruption, pieces of dishonesty, pieces of violating the law. And in that setting, Comey decides that 2 days before the election, he should announce what? I mean, that there's nothing in the 650,000 emails? Well, I have a simple test for him. If there's nothing there, release them in the morning. I mean, if there's nothing there, why can't the American people see all of this nothing? Why do we have to rely on the totally flawed judgment of an FBI director who I think, sadly, and I say this sadly, is going to go down in history as the man who broke the prestige of the FBI.
Here, think about how profound this is on so many different levels, Mr. Speaker. She erased 33,000 emails. She made the decision to erase them. They wanted nobody to see them so bad. They didn't wipe them with a cloth. They acid washed it with bleach pit and got rid of it so nobody could recover it. Then we know specifically things were done. Again, these were under subpoena. Then we know it was on an unclassified, it was on an unprotected server. Now we're told a 99% chance 5 foreign intelligence agencies, hacked into this. I would assume Russia, probably the Iranians, probably the Chinese. The Romanians seem to be able to hack into things. Did anybody feed it to ISIS? Who else might have access to these emails? But isn't all of this obstruction and then the multiple lies to the American people? Here we are 2 days before Election Day. Can she win being a congenital, pathological liar? She can win.
Well, I mean, you have most of the elite media desperately trying to prop her up, desperately trying to overstate what Comey said today, desperately hoping they can shove her over the finish line. You have clearly she's in trouble in Michigan. That's why they're going back there. She's in trouble in Philadelphia and in Pennsylvania. They're underperforming in North Carolina. They're underperforming in Florida. As you know, Nevada may be one of their bright spots. We don't know yet.
But Colorado seems to be moving towards Trump, right? From what I'm seeing in Colorado.
I was just in Colorado Thursday. It's clearly moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well,
Colorado's
let's
moving
go
towards
to
Trump. I think, by the way, I'm talking to you from Wisconsin,
Yeah.
And I've been talking with people in Wisconsin and Minnesota. They're both moving. I now think Ron Johnson's going to get reelected, maybe by a significant margin. And I think he may actually help Trump carry Wisconsin. And you'll notice that today, Paul Ryan was very explicit in condemning the whole Hillary Clinton mess, and in specifically calling for votes for Donald Trump and saying everybody should vote for Donald Trump. So there's some coming together here between which matters a lot
of them to join the party
in Wisconsin.
All right, but that's a different story for November 9th. I agree. I saw his statement, and I agree. All right, I want to go over the path for Donald Trump to 270. More with Newt Gingrich right after the break, and we are also awaiting Donald Trump. He has a rally in Pennsylvania tonight. We'll bring that to you when he takes the stage. Kellyanne Conway, Rudy Giuliani will be here, and much more of the special Sunday edition tonight of Hannity. All right, Donald Trump, as you can see, about to take the stage at a rally in Pennsylvania, which is now apparently in play. And back with us, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Let's go to 270. Let's say he gets every state that Mitt Romney won, and then let's say he picks up Iowa, holds North Carolina, gets Ohio, gets Florida, maybe picks off Nevada. If he can't, some reports out there, some well-known pollster there says there's no chance. All right, but Colorado may be in play. And then if he gets New Hampshire and Maine's 2nd congressional district, well, if he got Colorado, that's 3 more electoral votes than Nevada, he'd get to 270. And Michigan and Pennsylvania, do you really believe they're in play? Do you really believe potentially Minnesota's in play?
I believe potentially Minnesota, where Trump beat Hillary in a statewide high school poll that involved over 77,000 students, and where he was running up crushing margins in rural Minnesota and northern Minnesota. Close and I were driving across Wisconsin today with her mother, and I can tell you that in rural Wisconsin, we're seeing 30 or 40 Trump-Pence signs and Ron Johnson signs for every single Hillary Clinton sign. I think we only saw 3 Hillary Clinton signs in a 2-hour drive in rural Wisconsin. So part of this is going to be a question of do the cities turn out? If, in fact, they cannot get African Americans in Milwaukee or in Minneapolis or in Florida to turn out in the Barack Obama-sized numbers, then I think Hillary has an enormous problem on Tuesday. But I want to make one side note for a second that's really important to recognize here. For all the people who are never Trump and all the people who spent all year yelling at you and me and what a disaster Trump's going to be, everybody now agrees he's going to get more electoral votes than Mitt Romney, period. I mean, even if he doesn't quite get there, he's going to be bigger and stronger and get more votes than Mitt Romney, period. So he's already an enormous force in American politics. I believe the momentum is with him. I believe it's with him in Michigan. I think that Pennsylvania is very tough, frankly, because the Democrats will steal Philadelphia. If they could get an honest count in Philadelphia, I think that Trump will win. I think that he's going to win North Carolina. I think he's going to win
Iowa.
Clearly, he's going to win Iowa.
Ohio.
And by the way, this is, again, one of those great ironies. Everybody sort of sloughs off the fact that he's carrying Ohio. Ohio was at one time the swing state. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, it's for Trump, so it can't be the swing state, because if it was the swing state and it was for Trump, that would mean he's winning. I'd also point out to you that... Go ahead.
You know, I don't want to interrupt you because I got yelled at last week for doing that. But in all seriousness, starting November 9th, win, lose, or draw, we're going to have a narrative about how corrupt this news media industry is. Disgustingly corrupt. And the role that they play in protect. I can't even watch these stupid Sunday shows anymore, or any other cable network, or read any major newspaper, because we now know they're in the tank for Hillary Inc.
Yes.
All right, Donald.
Well, and for left-wing corruption in general.
Yeah.
Beyond that. But let me just carry you one step further and how this is evolving in the next 48 hours. One of the most accurate indicators is what happens to the stock market in the last 90 days. In the last 90 days, we have had the second worst decline in the 90 days before an election, and since World War II. Well, only 2008 is comparable. That particular indicator, 87% of the time, tells you whether the incumbent party or the challenging party is going to win. It is sending a huge signal that Donald Trump is going to win, because people are looking around saying, wait a second, this economy isn't good enough, and she's going to be worse than Obama for the economy. So there are a lot of indicators out there coming together, I think, that mean I'm now, not just for being on TV and all that stuff and being a cheerleader. I'm personally very optimistic. I think the odds are at least 2 out of 3 that Trump's going to win. And I think this is going to be one of the most exciting election nights of my lifetime.
All right, Mr. Speaker, I was there with you in '94. That was one of the most exciting in my lifetime, too. Good to see you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Donald Trump's been crisscrossing the nation all weekend long. He'll be on the trail tomorrow. He's tonight in Pennsylvania. When we come back, we'll go back to the speech. We'll also get reaction from Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway. We'll look at the electoral map. We'll also check in with Mayor Giuliani about James Comey and more on this special Sunday edition of Hannity. Straight ahead.
When we win on November 8th, we are going to drain the swamp.
Going out and voting, it's your last chance. It's your last chance to make our country truly, truly, truly